Hello guys, welcome back to a new video today, and in this video today, I'm going to be doing another tier list video, and this is going to be Pixar movies, me ranking every Pixar movie. So we have all the tiers here. We have S, A, B, C, D, F, and not watched. S obviously being the best tier, F being the worst, and not watched being the only neutral tier. Actually, that's a bit debatable. All right, so let's start this off here. We have the first movie in this tier list is Up. By the way, I actually edited this tier list. I added the F category and the not watch category myself in here. All right, Up, I would say probably would go into the A tier. I mean, obviously there's the openings, and obviously if you're trying to avoid spoilers, I recommend watching the movies first before seeing my opinions on some of these. Just saying. So Up, the opening, the opening, like maybe 10, 20 minutes, something like that. It's like one of the best things that it's some of the most best and emotional stuff that Pixar themselves have like put out, and seeing like the montage, especially the montage with Carl and Ellie. And I mean, there's a lot of other great stuff like in it even after that. Like obviously Ed Asner's performance as Carl Fredricksen, loved it. Even a bunch of the other characters, Russell and Doug, being very good characters as well. So yeah, A tier I put it. Then we have the original Toy Story. I'm gonna say A tier for actually no, S tier. I mean, it's the one that started it all for Pixar. I mean, where would computer animation be without it? I mean, we probably would have been set back a few years in technology without Toy Story. So, yeah. And I mean like the movie itself is done like so well. Like like I watched it so much as a kid. I would imagine many people here probably have done so as well. I mean, if you have never watched any Pixar movie, start with Toy Story. And and yeah, like that's just what I gotta sum up there. All right, Monsters University. I'm gonna put this one into the C tier. Yeah, Monsters University, that will go into C tier. It's a pretty nice sequel. Obviously not as good as the original. The original is much better. We'll get to that later. And it's and I mean there's like some really good moments. I mean I saw it back in theaters. But like it's not really but the reason it goes in the C tier is just cuz it's not really as memorable in a way. And I mean just not as good. All right, Finding Dory, another sequel right here. I'm going to place this one into the B tier. Next, yeah, I'm going to place this no. I'm going to place it in back to B. I'm going to place this in the B tier. I mean, I did see this one in theaters as well. But I mean, it definitely does a lot better as a sequel. I mean, I saw this one in theaters, and I think that it does pretty well as a sequel. Uh, and Dory, like seeing like the not aquatic park, they cut that out because after the animators watched Blackfish, the Marine Life Institute. Like I think they did a really good job with. I think they did a really good job with this film, and I just don't have much to say. And the original Finding Nemo, believe it or not, I mean, believe it or not, I have actually not watched this yet. I mean, I have not watched the original Finding Nemo. I mean, I have, but like not enough. I have not watched enough of Finding Nemo to really say I could rank it. That's the thing. I mean, parts of it I've seen. They're great. Like from what I remember, I've seen the openings, the opening scenes. Like I've watched, definitely watched and up until I've watched some of the scenes, but like just not enough to really rank it. But yeah, eventually I gotta watch the whole thing. All right, Cars 2. This will be a controversial opinion right here. I'm gonna put it into the C tier. I'm most people put it into their D tier or F tier. I'm going with the C tier. It's honestly underrated. It's definitely not one of the worst Pixar films out there. It definitely does not. I honestly do not believe it's the worst. Definitely, I do believe it is a downgrade from the first Cars movie. We'll get to that later. It's just that I personally just, I mean, the movie gets so much hate, but there's actually so much good to it at the same time. I mean, I love Mater. I mean, I do believe they showed him too much over Lightning McQueen, but I do just wish that I I just wish that like the hate on it dwindled a bit, cuz it's not as bad of a movie as everyone says it is, to be honest. Okay. The Incredibles, this is going to be an easy S tier. We have another S tier movie right here. This one definitely belongs up there. I mean, The Incredibles, I mean, big superhero fan right here. I mean, most of my family also loves superheroes, so I mean, watched this one a lot as a kid. I just, I mean, Brad Bird's directing and Michael Giacchino's score really steal the show. Voice acting and like just the animation just steals it. The animation's the best part of this movie. Let's face it. Like I just I just love this movie dearly. Like there's just so much I could go on about it. I don't want to go on too much. That's the problem. Okay, Ratatouille, A tier. I would say probably A tier. I got close to putting this one into B tier, but I decided instead, you know what, I'm gonna just go with A tier. So yeah, Ratatouille. I mean, I didn't watch this movie until pretty recently, actually, and it's a lot. And honestly, it's a lot darker than I had expected. Like, I had no idea that that at the beginning there was gonna be a grandma with a gun trying to shoot Remy and his brother. Like I did not expect that at the beginning of the movie at all. But yeah, like the cooking scenes really good. I mean, voice acting itself really good. I mean, Linguini is the best character though, let's be honest. It's Linguini. He's the best character. All right. The Good Dinosaur, F tier. You may have heard me say it before. The Good Dinosaur is the worst Pixar movie. Like I saw it in theaters. It was boring. Like it was really boring. I mean, definitely were some moments, but as I said, it was just so boring. I mean, the visuals are good. Like this movie got. I mean, there's a reason why this movie just kept having issues. Like as I said, like I mean, you can be good, you can be bad. Just boring just is what really just sets this down so badly. And it just there were way too many depressing moments as well. Just putting that out there. And I mean the villains, the main villains just aren't really we don't really get we don't really get to know enough about them. I mean, we don't really know very much about about all the characters anyway. Like they're just not really introduced properly in a way. I mean, maybe I'm just babbling stuff now, but I just hate the Good Dinosaur. All right. Cars, this is S tier. You guessed it. I mean, this is going in the S tier just because I watched it all the time. Like, it's just that good. I mean, even a 16-year-old now like me can still be watching this movie, even though they watched it all the time when they were 3. Like, this movie just. It's what got me into NASCAR. I mean, it's. I mean, it's actually not my favorite Pixar movie, believe it or not. Although I wish I could say it was. Once again, too much to explain, but the the scene with Doc going around Willie's Butte is the best scene of of the movie. That's all I'll just say. All right, Cars 3, A tier. Definitely a big step up from Cars 2. I mean, obviously it's not better than the original Cars. And I mean, some of it was a little bit of a letdown, but there were really good scenes. There were still a lot of really good scenes, and I'm glad that they brought the Piston Cup back again, and a lot of other great stuff that I saw. And I mean, the introduction to Cruise, I did enjoy that. I mean, I still hope we get a Cars 4 in the future, but I wouldn't really bet on it coming just because Pixar doesn't plan to do many sequels. All right, A Bug's Life, I'm gonna go with not watched. Should have changed this to not watched enough. I mean, A Bug's Life, I've seen parts, but I just have not watched enough of it to really put it into S tier. I mean, they got a really good voice cast for this movie. That's what I've heard. Yeah, they got a really good voice cast. And I mean it's only their second move it's only their second movie. I do wish they could make a sequel to this one. I do wish they could. Problem is many of the voice actors are dead now. A bunch of the voice actors are dead now, like Joe Ranft. All right, The Incredibles 2, this is going to be another S tier. A sequel can be just as good as the original, sometimes even better. And this is definitely a case where it's just as good. I mean, it might be a little slightly off compared to the first, but this movie really, but I mean, The Incredibles 2 just really won me over. I mean, I mean, we waited 14, I mean, the fans waited 14 years and it was worth the wait because I did see this one in theaters. I actually saw it in 3D. Like the Incredibles 2, like there was so much great stuff. I mean, Jack with the powers, Edna coming back. I mean, even the final battle was a really decent one, and Screen Slayer and the plot twist at the end that was crazy as well. All right, Wally, not watched. Haven't watched enough of it. I've seen clips, but as I was just saying, I have not watched enough of it. It's just but I mean, the environmental message, from what I'm aware of, definitely can become relevant in the future. There's definitely a lot of stuff in Wall-E that can be relevant. Okay, Monsters Inc. I'm gonna put this in the S tier. Loved this one so much as a kid, still love it today, and I don't really have much more to explain. Inside Out, I'm gonna go with A tier. So Inside Out, I did see this one in theaters as well when it came out. I mean, I think after watching this one in theaters, I started to wonder what's inside my mind, what is like dictating all of my decisions. I mean, what could be dictating my decisions with this tier list right now? Like, are my emotions telling me put this in one tier, put this in another? Like, I just find it I just found the concept of this movie to be really good as well. And I mean, there there's no villain, but not every movie needs to have a villain, and I just think that Inside Out really played well with like just the whole movie as well of why you need to have all of your emotions, even the bad ones. Okay, Coco. Now this right here is actually my favorite Pixar movie. Coco is actually my favorite Pixar movie. One of the last scenes of the movie, it's made me cry before, literally. And when you put that into consideration, like I mean, the whole movie just visually stunning to me. Like, and I mean, like, it just like, it's just that Coco like was just that good. Like, I've watched it many times. I've watched it like multiple times, even after seeing it in theaters, just because it was so good. Like, I mean, like, I just can't really explain enough because we got to get through the rest of this. All right, Toy Story 3, I would say S tier. Another S tier movie from Pixar right here. We're putting it up here. Similar to what I said about the original Toy Story, it's up there. Watched it so much as a kid. I mean, it may not be as good as the original. Some could argue it's better, but Toy Story 2, like I enjoyed And I mean, it did also give us one of my favorite memes, the I can't believe I have to drive all the way to work on a Saturday meme. Like that's one of the best memes out there. So yeah. But I mean, that's not the only reason why I liked it, of course. There's plenty of other reasons. Okay, Toy Story 3, I would actually say not watched. I just have not watched enough of it. I just haven't watched enough of Toy Story 3. I know about the whole ending with Andy and Bonnie. Like, definitely made a lot, definitely, and also the incinerator scenes. Like, I mean, it's just, but I mean, like, as I said, I haven't watched enough of it to really put it on a ranking. I probably would put it in the A tier, though, if I watched the whole thing. I don't know if it's really as good. Alright, Brave, D tier. I did see this one in theaters. It was boring, it's saved from being in the F tier because it's not as boring as the Good Dinosaur. Like it's saved from the F tier mostly just because it's not as like boring. I mean, Brave is I mean, I did enjoy some parts of Brave, but as I said with like Monsters University, there's not really much that's as memorable for Brave. Like just there's just not really enough things that are as memorable, and that's the thing. Okay, a lot of these next movies are going to be put into the not watched category. Onward, I did not watch. I was going to watch it, but then COVID happened. I was going to see it in theaters. COVID happened. Toy Story 4 now, I'm actually going to put this in the C. No, B tier. I mean, the reason I'm going with the B, almost C tier, B tier is just because I mean, I did see this one, even though I didn't watch all of three, which is kind of funny. I mean, the ending actually did make me cry, but I mean, outside of that, like I feel like there was not really enough focus on every character that just brought everything to life in the originals. Like, there's not enough Potato Head, Wreck. I mean, I know Don Rickles did pass, but like, wasn't enough of his character. I felt there wasn't enough of Rex either, or Slinky, or Ham, but I mean, I just feel that this movie also was just simply a cash grab. Like, Pixar had reiterated many times, even before 4 got officially announced, that 3 was the last movie, and they ended up putting out another one, and I honestly believe that money definitely had to do with it. And I mean, there were definitely some twists, and I mean, it was nice to see Bo Peep back, but I felt there was just too much focus on that. Soul, I have not watched. Luca, I have not watched either. I want to watch all three of these. I mean, they're all available on Disney Plus, so maybe I will watch them. Okay, and last but obviously not least, Turning Red, this is the S tier. I mean, I think you all knew that by now. I mean, when I saw this movie, I fucking loved it. Like, there's just so much like stuff in it that I just happen to enjoy. I mean, May is probably one of my favorite Pixar characters. I mean, Domi Shi directed this one so well. It's definitely clear that she was deserving of being given the opportunity to direct a movie for Pixar. And you obviously all know why if you watched it. Like I just like there were just so many great moments. I mean like I mean even like I just and I mean there's been a lot of new memes that I've gotten involved in with this one, especially Awuga. All right. So that's my whole tier list. I mean, I know Lightyear hasn't come out yet. I believe that comes out in maybe a month or two from now. Could be wrong. I don't believe I'm going to make an updated tier for that one, including that one, but I don't know. We'll just see what happens. I may not make another tier of this until I've watched maybe rewatched a lot of these or watched these bottom 7. Like And then maybe I could maybe make an updated tier list to this. But that's going to be the end of this video. So guys, thank you for all watching this tier list. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, share my channel, become a sponsor for my channel if you want for as little as $1 a month, and support me in any other way possible, guys. It would really be appreciated. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, and see you in the next live streamer video.